I'm Dr. Marie Murphy, and I'm a non-judgmental infidelity coach. In this little video, I'm going to tell you one of the most important things you need to know if you're engaging in anything you think counts as infidelity, which you probably have not heard yet. And here it is. If you are engaging in anything you think counts as infidelity and you don't like what you're doing, or you feel bad about what you're doing, or you think what you're doing is bad, I want you to temporarily set aside these judgments and recognize the humanity in what you're doing. I'm not trying to convince you that you shouldn't dislike the fact that you're engaging in infidelity if you don't like the fact that you're engaging in infidelity. If you're engaging in infidelity, it's fair to dislike what you're doing, and it's fair to want to change what you're doing. But here's the thing. There's a big difference between saying, okay, yes, I'm cheating, or I'm doing something that I think counts as infidelity, and I don't like this. I don't think this is cool, and I don't want to keep doing this indefinitely, and I want to figure out how to change. And saying to yourself, oh my God, you're a terrible person. Who do you think you are? You're a worthless piece of shit human being, or anything along those lines. It's really hard to shame ourselves or scold ourselves or should ourselves into making sustainable positive changes. Beating yourself up for doing whatever it is you're doing probably isn't going to help you change what you're doing in a sustainable way if that's what you want to do. Self-acceptance is a far better motivator of change than self-reproach. And that's true for a number of reasons. And one of them is this. When we are telling ourselves that what we're doing is really bad, or when we're telling ourselves that we are really bad for whatever we're doing in the infidelity department, we usually feel pretty bad. And when we feel pretty bad, what do we usually do? Well, sometimes we try to avoid feeling bad. And we might try to avoid feeling bad by doing any number of things, such as not thinking about our infidelity situation, or trying not to think about it, for instance. Or maybe we pursue the things that we like about our infidelity situation with frenzied urgency. Maybe we chase the pleasures of our infidelity situation compulsively. Or maybe we look for other ways to get a good dopamine hit. Maybe we try to distract ourselves from feeling bad with work or exercise. Or maybe we try to distract ourselves with heroin or shoplifting or gambling or smoking or eating too much or having sex too much or reading too much even. And yes, that is a thing, believe me. I've tried it. It doesn't work. That's not the what isn't necessarily the point. There's any number of things that we might do to get away from feeling bad if we're feeling bad about ourselves when we're engaging in infidelity. And maybe the things that we do to get away from feeling bad don't have any immediate consequences that are really terrible. But over the long run, they may have some pretty big consequences indeed, because what's usually going on when we're trying to get away from feeling bad is we're not taking responsibility for dealing with our infidelity situation in a conscious, deliberate way. And when we don't, when we don't deal with our infidelity situation at all, when we're just kind of going with the flow and sticking with the status quo, what that sometimes entails is continuing to do the very things that we feel bad about in the first place. So we get ourselves into this kind of doom loop. We're doing things that we feel bad about doing. We judge ourselves for doing the things. We feel bad when we judge ourselves. And in order to get away from feeling bad, we keep on doing the things that we feel bad about, and we don't deal with the situation at hand. And on top of that, we don't know how to interrupt that cycle. And we do need to interrupt that cycle if we want change to happen. And part of the way that we interrupt that cycle is starting to look at whatever we are doing in the infidelity department from a more neutral perspective. We see the humanity in what we're doing. We start to see the legitimacy of why we're doing whatever it is we're doing, even if we also don't feel good about it. We set our judgments aside, at least temporarily, and we look at the facts of what's going on, and then we start to figure out what we want to do about the facts at hand. And none of this is for the sake of abdicating responsibility for your actions. Rather, it's putting yourself into a position where you can more effectively take responsibility for your actions. It's really hard to effectively take responsibility for our actions when we feel terrible about ourselves. When we get stuck in weird shame spirals, it's very hard to step up to the plate and change our behavior in the ways that we want to. Now, sometimes people hear me say, okay, you've got to set the judgments aside and you've got to embrace your own humanity. And they go, oh, that makes sense. I can totally do that on my own. And if that's you, that's fantastic. And what I've also seen is that some folks need some coaching to be able to set their judgments of their infidelity aside and look at their infidelity situation from a neutral, compassionate perspective. And if you need some help looking at your situation from a more neutral, compassionate perspective, I'm here to help you. Here's how you can have me as your coach. You can enroll in my online self-guided course. You're not the only one. And I'll teach you how to be a compassionate witness to yourself. I'll teach you how to look at your infidelity situation from a more neutral perspective. I'll teach you how to set your judgments aside, at least temporarily, and look at the facts of your situation for the sake of getting to a place where you can make the changes you desire. You're not the only one as an online course that you can access 24/7 once you enroll. The course includes videos of me yelling at you, lovingly, of course, and assignments to help you make use of what I teach you in the videos. You can make use of the course materials at your own pace and on your own schedule. And once you enroll in the course, you have access to the course materials forever, meaning for as long as the course exists, which should be for a very long time, barring all of the usual and foreseeable disasters. To join the course, head on over to my website, mariemurphyphd.com. Or if you want my personalized attention, we can work together one-on-one via Zoom. When you have me as your private coach, you get very focused attention on the specifics of your unique infidelity situation. If you're ready to start working with me one-on-one, the way to get started is to schedule an introductory coaching session with me. And you can do that through my website, mariemurphyphd.com as well. I can't wait to meet you. And there's also my podcast, Your Secret is Safe with Me. I've got over 200 episodes that cover all sorts of infidelity-related topics from a non-judgmental perspective. You can find Your Secret is Safe with Me wherever you access podcasts or on my website, which once again is mariemurphyphd.com. All right, good human. Thank you for tuning in this time. I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Bye for now.